right, welcome back everybody. All right, here we are, together again. A few things before we get started with the next rehearsal. One is, I just want to say thank you for being here. We have a number of people on the men that are not with us today or here remotely, so if you're here with us remotely, we're glad we have this way to keep you involved and keep you keeping pace with us, and I think we're just trying to keep each other safe. Not an easy task these days, but it is grateful. I'm grateful just to see you. That means a lot that you're here, and it means a lot that we're going to make some music, and we all need it in our hearts more than ever, probably. The big thing, I think, is we're kind of working through this mask upgrade. So if you can do a K95, excellent. We have some of those available. They're not really easy to sing for some people. Some people, they love them. Some people, they hate them. We were hoping to have the new mask in today, but it's still stuck in shipping, so we'll probably get it this week. So by the time we get here next week, that 3D K95 singer's mask will be available for you to try those. So if you're in the K95 and you say to yourself, God, this is just driving me crazy. Some people it fits fine. Some people, every time you open your mouth, it moves around. I like what the CDC said. They said that the best mask sometimes is the one that you can leave on properly. So a great mask that's kind of doing this is not going to help you either. So do the best you can. I just hate all this stuff with masks, and I know you do more than I do. But if you're not comfortable with what you have tonight, next week we're going to have 200 of those disposable things to try, and I'm hoping that they're going to be. They look great, but let's see. So that's the big thing. Reminder: if you do test positive, and we know what's going to happen, just let Ellen or I know when you test positive. And then we've decided it's 10 days from when you notify KC, and that's really because the CDC has 5 days, which we don't feel is quite enough, and we just want to make sure where everybody is safe as possible. And you know, the fact that we have the remote rehearsals means you can do your rehearsal at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday if you want. I think we'd rather do that. So the whole thing is we're trying to do everything we can to preserve this concert because it's so magnificent. You're going to be so great. So we're just doing the best we can to get through this next couple weeks. So do what you can, but just remember, if you do test positive, just let Ellen or I know when that is, and we'll get you back in when it's appropriate. We have a lot of people that are kind of recovering that are back this week, and it's great. I'm grateful to see you. As far as I know, we haven't had anybody that's had very strong symptoms, which is godsend, so let's hope that continues. And we're just going to try to do the best we can. I have to say I'm like a proud father today. Because I'm proud of all of you, because as you know, we did this online rehearsal twice because we wanted to make sure it was really good. And it was. And we recorded it twice on 2 different contraptions, but at any rate, I was shocked when I went in today to see how many views there were, and there were like over 120. So I don't know if it was I don't know if it was just Richard Lilly did it 100 times or what happened, but the good news is if you haven't done the rehearsal, please do, because it's really going to be beneficial, because I want to try not to repeat myself a lot and try to keep us moving as quickly as we can, because we have a pile of gorgeous music to learn. But I think I was just shocked that you watched those. Even if you watched it for 30 seconds, I count that as a view. But if you haven't had a chance to do it, please do it, because I know we had almost no time for you to do that. We really intended to get it out. This one, here again, if you just want to review that sectional that you just did with Stephen or myself, you can go back. We're going to have both the sectionals and the full rehearsal tonight. So those are kind of the big things. Do what you can to let people know that this concert is happening in February, and it's okay. You can buy a ticket. You're going to come to this concert. It's going to be great. We're going to do it. The orchestra is really excited. We have almost all of the principal winds of the orchestra. It's going to be a great weekend. So with that in mind, let's do a little bit of Haydn. So let's stand and do the Haydn. We're going to kind of review this. This is going in pretty good shape. The tenors and basses didn't quite get as much done in the fugue as the tenors, sopranos, and altos, but we're going to kind of go through this. So here's from the very beginning. Also with the mask, if you need to, if you're getting tired and you need some air, just step outside and get some air and take care of yourself. No worries. Just it's a long time to be in a mask. So I thought I was going to die on the way to France. It was like, oh, 2 more hours. All right, here we go. Here's the time. Good luck. Here we go. 3, 4. So if you're saying to yourself, oh my God, I thought I knew this. That was closer to tempo. We've been kind of slow. So let's go back a little bit and let's do the slow section first. Page 12, but pretty good. This is, I've done this a number of times, but I've never done it with a large ensemble. And partly because there's so much text and it goes by so quick. So that's going to be the challenge for us, is just getting all that text out and trying to keep time, because there's just so much. So you're going to have to kind of go through sections that you're having trouble keying up to speed to kind of get that going. So this little, let's go back to Te ergos que sumus. Almost every one of these sections ends with a little lift at the end of the bar. If you haven't already, take a look at the PDF that's on the members only section, just so you have all these markings. Ready? And. Good. I have here, what I put here was, this is mysterious invocation of the Holy Spirit. This is, you've had this great moment of outward rejoicing. Now this is an inward prayer, so it has to have a mysterious, dark, rich quality to it. And it's tergo, no lift there. Tergo quesus. Let's try that right there. Te and a. Let's do that again, even a little bit richer, more mysterious, so you can get that color of the sound. Ready? And here we go. That's the right. Quesus. The color that you have now is just glorious. Let's keep that rolling. Basses, when you come in the third bar of page 12, you're after everybody else. But we don't be too much in the weeds. We want to hear that yum, bum, bum, bum. Let's hear just the basses right when you come in and measure 35. 35. Here we go. I'll give you 2 and. 2 and. Lift. Good. So that one's got to be really light, almost covered. But make sure the first part, that can be a little more, just a little more volume. Here we go, basses again. Right where you come in at 2 E's and up. Good. Can you do the same thing you just did and think about the line going to su, the downbeat? So it's ya ba 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 ba. So it's not one, it has some line to it. One more time, basses, that was it. Ready? So downbeat. Now careful and cuddly here. And up. Good. Just when you start that phrase, light, you're doing a beautiful job of the lightness of the color, but just remember you're doing half steps coming down, all the way down. So just make sure your half steps are really on the money, and then make sure it's quos prezio. Prezio. That was really nice. Let's hear everybody at te ergo, the beginning of the adagio. So let's get that color, and we want to hear the basses kind of make their moment there. Tenors, when you come in the upbeat of 87, we need a little bit more of you there. Here we go. And up. Mysterious basses. Beautiful big bass. Tenors. So make sure and measure 90. Give yourself time to take that breath and let the basses when you get down to those low Fs and F sharps, let's just make sure that we know you're in the house. And on misti, keep the line moving so that first 2 beats, big beats, don't get static. Bottom of 88 and measure 88 and 89, you're going to the big beat, the big third beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. That was beautiful. Let's do it from 83. Tenors, that was lovely, by the way. Here's 83. This is the orchestra first, and then the others get softer. And now, in that breath, we change the color. Transition, it's a little tricky. Very good. Let's hear just tenors and basses right at 93. Tenors and basses. 1, 2, and up. And da ba da da ba ba. Give a little bit of emphasis to ra, but not re. Ra, ra. One more time, tenor bass. On the one quarter note you have, give that a little bit more length in music. 1, 2, and up. Almost. Gloria numerare. Just basses right at Gloria numerare. The last measure there, middle line. 3 and 4. Ah, I like that better. Here's everybody at 93. 2, 3, 4, and up. We haven't done much with this little section. We can kind of going by it. So tonight I want to kind of spend some time on it. Let's go to page 13 first. Sopranos and altos, the middle of the last bar. So at benedicta and benedic hereditatis. It's hard for me to say. 1, 2, and And so everybody, at 102, if you don't have this marking in, please add it. And measure 102, the first E is long, the los is short. The next E is long, the next los is short. So it's E-los, E-los. Listen to it again. E-los, E-los. And I'm also emphasizing and pulling away. So it's E-los, E-los. But each of the loses are short. Let's do that again because it's a tricky page term for the sopranos and altos, and hereditati. So no H. Here we go, ladies. 1, 2, and up. You're going to the big third beat. That was pretty good. I know you're so excited to get in there. I know. But, let's do this. Let's go back and do the same thing with the tenors and basses. Top of page 14, measure 99. 99. This is tenors and basses. 3, 4, and up. So yeah, it's for the basses. Et extole ilos. I should have given you the different text. You have different text than the sopranos and altos. Let's do it from the same spot again. Top of page 14, measure 99. A little slower. 3, 4, and up. there again, basses, when you come in those F sharps, ya da 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 da, just give a little bit more than piano there. Tenors, make sure you have the misprint in 104. You have a printed E natural on the downbeat. It should be a printed C natural. All right, let's go back and do that again for the tenor basses, back to 99. Actually, let's do the basses once. Basses, I don't feel like we're really finding the G natural in 100. So let's do that all alone. 99, 3, 4, 1. You got it now. Good. That's perfect. Everybody's all the tenor bass down. 3, 4, and down. One, two. Good, you got it. Just make sure tenors, when you come in at 103, it's still piano-ish, so don't get too strong, but I liked your singing was great. Let's go back to 93, back to the previous page. Everybody's in now. This is parts at 90, measure 93. 3, 4, and down. This whole page of 15 are really just wonderful little duets. Let's do the soprano alto duet first at 108. So per singulos dies, You're kind of leaning into the downbeat there. Here, soprano alto, 1 and 2. Good. Make sure altos. Make sure you go up to the. You're going above the sopranos. Let's do altos, 1 and 2. Yep, same thing, one more time, make sure you got it, because you're going to go above the soprano. 1 and 2. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then it's higher. You're good from there, right? I can sing G's all day. Perfect, you got it. So sopranos and altos realize that you're going above and below each other, top of 15. So here's sopranos only now, 108, 1 and 2. Good, let's put them together, sopranos and altos. 1 and 2. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3. Beautifully done. Let's do the tenors and basses now. 109. 109, tenors and basses. 1 and 2. 3, 4, 1. Very good. And basses, if you don't have it marked in, 113 on seculum, make it an eighth note, eighth breath, so you get a breath before you start the next phrase. Let's do that again. Tenor bass 109. That was really nice. 1 and 2. 2 bars before 108. So let's start at measure 106. 106, so you can get used to the time. Here we go, 106, and 2, 3, 4, 1. here, when you do the big nos chord, this big diminished seventh chord, make sure you're looking up because it'll be nos, one, ba, ba. The cutoff is the downbeat and you go right. There's not much time, just enough time to breathe and sing. So let's do this bit again from 122 to get the timing. You got it, 122. A little calmer. And here we go. Very good. Now, one small detail. You have a printed quarter note, but in 127. But look what's happening in the orchestra. They're just doing an eighth note and they're out of there. So make sure Sine peccato 127 is eighth note, eighth rest. That way it matches what the sopranos have been doing. Sopranos, that's gorgeous, the middle of 16. We're going to do this with our time we have left. Let's stand and do it from there, from 122 to the end. So we're from there to the end. So this is 122 because I have the other stuff I want to make sure we get done tonight, but we're getting a lot accomplished. So at the very beginning, your homework, if you can do it for me, would be great. Work on just getting this up to tempo so that you can get through all of this text because it is a lot, that opening section. The middle section, you're doing great. I know the sopranos and altos, we had a lot of time and we really worked on the fugue quite a bit on pages 18 and on. Tenors and basses, I know you didn't get a lot of time on that tonight, but you got further in the Bruckner than we did. So if you can spend some time on that fugue so you're really confident, it's a tricky little bugger. Last week's rehearsal is probably the best way to drill that, or with one of the Choralia part per nominal thing. All right, so here we go. 122, are you ready? Oh, yeah. Exciting, I know. Here we go. Bang. A little crescendo. great. You did a great job. That's coming along. So, it's a mouthful, is it not? All right, so I think the key is this is going to take a little bit of your at-home prep if you're not really confident on it. So tenors and basses, I know we have a little ways to go in the fugue, but we did some pretty good stuff tonight. That's coming along. It's going to go. It's such a great piece. I have to say, it's one of those that once you hear the opening, that introduction, it's just like, it's so thrilling. Such a great piece. So, all right, we are moving on to the Dvorak Te Deum, and we're going to end with the Bruckner tonight because you almost have to end with that. So this is the first movement of the Dvorak. And this is, we have lots of good tenors this year, and you've been penalized by getting all this good stuff. That's really high. But this little piece here really features the tenors, start really with the melody of this. So actually, why don't we all sing, let's have all the sopranos and the tenors sing the tenor part for right now, in your own octave. So here we go. The sopranos and tenors all singing the tenor part. 1, 2, go. Not too bad for reading through, some of you. All right, so let's go back and do this again. Same thing again. This is sopranos and tenors, and we'll kind of give you the breath markings along the way. A little bit slower. 1, 2, go. So before we do too much, let's do 19 altos, sopranos, and tenors. Everybody but the basses. So this is kind of slow. 3, 4. For right now, we're just going to get to the ra and stop to save your voices for tonight because you don't need to hold that forever. There's a little lift. This is not for the basses, but for everybody else. So ya da 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 ba da 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 da. So the downbeat of 20, the parts are just saying you get a little lift before you start the 16ths. Let's do that again from 19. Those upper 3 parts. 3, 4. Same deal. 3 and 4. Go good. Basses, let's do your part. This is measure 19. Measure 19 basses. 3, 4. Good. The tricky part is 3, 4. Let's do it one more time. Same deal, basses 3 and 4. 3, 4. Good, let's put everybody together 19. Good job, basses. Make sure your tour is very short though. 3, 4. You got it. All right, so let's go back now. We're going to go back to the first page. Let's go back to the first page, and we're going to do tenors and sopranos on your own part. And you essentially have, I'll do it in a second. Here we go. Tenors lead us in. 1, 2, and. Sopranos echo it. So just give you a couple breath marks that are not in here. And let's do them for everyone. So tenors, we're going to add a breath mark in measure, when you look at measure 15, this never happens. I don't know if it's ever happened. You get a breath every measure. Every one of those. So that you can just be magnificent. You'll never say to yourself, I'm not out of air. You won't be out of air. So every one of those, there's just a little lift at the end of each measure so you can keep your sound nice and strong. Sopranos, we're going to do the same thing in measures 16, 17, and 18. So, and a breath, breath. Let's give you, for the basses, you get a breath. We need to add one in measure 14. Measure 14 on the mur, and same thing for the altos. So measure 14 on the altos and basses, the third beat, eighth note, eighth rest. Then the next breath we're going to do is in measure 16. This is again for the altos and basses. Just make your last note of measure 16 a dotted quarter with an eighth rest. Dotted quarter with an eighth rest, that's in measure 16. And you do the same thing in measure 18. Quarter note, dotted quarter note with an eighth note rest. So let's go back. While you're writing that in, let me hear sopranos and tenors again. So you guys are kind of in canon, so we want to make sure the audience hears that. Here we go. Tenors first. 1, 2, go. Soprano. Really nice. Let's hear the basses right at the beginning. Basses. Here we go. 2, 3, and 4. This one's short. Breath. Carry over. Breath. Carry over. Breath. So basses, it's just the same two notes for the most part. You just got to know which one is when. Altos, here's the same spot for you, the beginning. Altos only. 2, 3, and 4. Beautiful. Short. Carries over. Breath. Carry over, and a breath, and lift. Good. You got it. Just make sure altos you get a nice lift in measure 20 on the downbeat. And then when you get to that big ra at the end of the bar, you're doubling the soprano, so you don't have to carry the vocal weight there. The sopranos will help you out there. Can you do the altos and the basses? Yeah. From the beginning of their entry. So let's do measure 11. These are altos and basses. Altos and basses. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the most important thing, when I did my markings, I just put forte plus for the tenors, because you're the most important in this opening. So tenors just be a little more prompt than everyone else, but it's a nice forte for everyone. This is the piece that, if you listen to it, you know there was that old Saturday Night Live thing where more cowbell, do you remember that skit? This is more triangle. More triangle. When you hear the triangle, you're going to go, holy jeepers, how loud are you going to play that thing? But it's very festive. Just so let's do, everybody pick up to 11. Everybody pick up to 11. So remember, the tenors are the stars, but you're all stars in my book. 1, 2, 3. one more time to make sure you have that. All right, you got their idea. Let's lead you in. Let's do 2 bars before. Let's do measure 9. Measure 9 to lead you in here. Okay, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you don't know this piece, just for fun, skip to page 90 or 16. 16. The piece is not that long. Page 16. Look at that. It's almost the same darn thing. So the same kind of breathing patterns. Let's do this. Let's do the tenors and sopranos at rehearsal 2. It's 110. It's almost the same thing, just a little different in the text. 3, 4. Second tenors, I think he finally said enough already. I'm going to help you out and give you a lower part. So let's do the last 4 measures, sopranos and tenors again. Last 4 measures. 118.
On the downbeat?
Yes. Here we go. 3, 4. Let's do the 110 altos and basses. It's almost the same for you as well. And 3, 4. Breath. Carry over. And a breath. You know what? I'm going to make a change here. I just thought of something. Let's do this. I'm sorry, Dvorak, but we're going to rewrite. We're rewriting for our numbers, not because it's not a good idea. Sopranos, and so can you just stay on the 120? Can we make the D natural under the G, the soprano 2 note? And then altos, can you just stay on the B natural, all of the altos? The voicing's nice, but for our numbers, this will be much stronger. So altos are going to stay across on the B flat or the B natural. Soprano 2s are going to stay across on the D as in dog natural. That'll be really lovely. Let's do the altos at 110. Altos at 110. I don't know if we quite got started really well that time. All right, here's 110. 3, 4. Then you got it. Let's put that with the basses now. So here's 110, tenor, altos and basses. That's what I meant. 3, 4. Let's put everybody in at 110. Everybody's in now, 110. Tenors are the most important of the 4 parts. 3, 4. Very nice. And make sure tour, you got to roll the R at the end, but that was really beautiful. That divisi is going to work much nicer. So you have that little part learned. Now let's go back and learn the new part on page 9. But guess what? It's kind of not that new either. It's kind of not this. It's just it's in a different essentially harmony or key center. So let's look at 24 tenors and sopranos. So this is 24 is the measure. So you have a little bit same kind of pattern, same kind of breathing. So here's tenors and sopranos. 1, 2, 3. In 33, watch the C naturals. That's the altos and the tenors. It's an A minor chord, which is kind of surprising. Let's do that again. So tenors don't feel you have to sing those A's, high A's. Just make sure we note the notes that follow them. All right. So if you want to save your voice, feel free. Sopranos and tenors again. 1, 2, 3. Soprano. I like it. Thank you. That's what my cat does. Beautiful. All right, so you got the idea. And same thing, tenors and sopranos, those are all one-bar phrases at the end like they were in the other part. Let's do the basses and the altos. We're going to start pick up to 25, basses and the altos. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cecilia, I like that. Very good. All right, let's do it one more time, those parts again. Basses and altos, just to make sure we've got 24, 25 pickup. 2, 3, and 4. Very good at that. Let's do from 23, everybody. Measure 23. So you have this little wonderful horn and trombone fanfare. Here we go. Here's 23. 3, 4. We're back with 20. Yep, 23. Yep. And that. 1, 2, and 2. Let's do 33, sopranos and altos. We're going to take a little lift at the end of measure 33. Ya da 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 da, ya ba da 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 da. Just a little lift there. Only the sopranos and altos, tenors and basses we're going to carry through. Here's 33 sopranos and altos. 3 and 4. I like the lift there is that gives us a chance to put the V. The V is a singable sound, right? So, omnis terra vene. So to give a little more singable V to that. One more time, soprano alto. 3 and 4. tenor bass, you just go straight through and give us lots of line. Here's all parts, 33. Everybody's in, and go. Very good. If you could do, you're getting so good in your tour. Can you do a ra tour? So, Venera. That one needs to be a long one. Listen how long mine is. Venera tour. It's super long. Let's see if you can do that long. 33. And go. Very good. You want to keep that up. That's excellent. Nicely done. Let's go back. We have one more phrase I'm going to work on tonight, and it also is like what you just did. Let's do the tenors. Tenors, I will tell you that that's a super exposed entrance. It's ya da da dee da ba da da dee da ba da da dee da ti be do. It just, for whatever reason, when I did this last time, the tenors are like, I don't want to come in there. I just don't want to. It feels very exposed. So I'll make sure I give you a good cue there, but be ready for it. Here's just tenors only. Tenors and sopranos. Why not? No, just tenors. Sorry. 1, 2. 2, 3. Lift. Lift. And a lift. Good. There's a lot of little breath marks. Let me just kind of walk you through these again so you can get them all. There's a bunch of them. The first one, tenors, is in 40. After Anjali, a little lift there. Basses, you get a breath there also. That's in measure 40. Anjali, lift. Tenors and basses again after Cheli in 41. And then the next one, basses you carry through in measure 42. Tenors and basses get a breath again in 44. 44 after potestates. And then making sure we get the cherubim. So TB, cherubim at seraphim. So the CH is a K. TB, cherubim, breath. At seraphim, breath. Incessabili, breath. You just breathe in all the time. It's so exciting. Let's do letter 39, tenors and basses parts. So now you got those markings. Basses, you don't get many notes, but darn, you're important. All right, here we go. Tenors, 1 and 2. And basses. For everybody, we're going to take a breath right before voce proclamant. That's measure 47. So ladies, sopranos and altos, let me give you a couple breath marks that we need to add. You don't have too many. The first added breath mark is measure 42 after Anjali. The next breath mark is on the next page. It's at the end of 46 and the end of 47. End of 46, end of 47. Let's sing it, sopranos and altos, right from 39. And believe it or not, you kind of have the whole movement for the most part, other than one section which we'll save for next time. So here's top of the page, 3, 4. Sopranos, the second and third bar of page 12.
Third bar?
Yeah, second bar. Then we find that B natural. Yep. Yep. All right, let's go back and do everybody. Let's do it right from the tenor engine. So everyone, we're sitting tall. This is 39 with the upbeats. 1, 2, 2. Everybody. good. You got the idea. So in measure 53, tenor bass, make that first downbeat an eighth note, eighth rest. So there's separation. So sanctus, sanctus Dominus Deus sa. So sanctus Dominus Deus sa is right in tempo, stays right in tempo. When you get to sa, we kind of slow it down. Let's do the sanctus, the sanctize. Here's 49. So basses, everybody but basses start us off. Third beat of 49, 1 and 2. Tenor bass. 1, 2, 3. Good. Let's do where we all come together. The sanctus, and make sure that sa ba od is a hard chord to get in tune, especially if you're singing the B naturals. Here we go. Ready? And 1. Very good. So you have the right idea with that. There is one little spot. I just don't want you to think you haven't learned everything. There is a little bit on page 14, 15 for the tenors and basses, and then you go back to that spot we ended with. So this movement is fairly simple, but it's just a lot of text. So if you can spend some time between next week and the next time we're together, next Tuesday, we'll even kind of fine tune it. But that's a real good start with that. So we're moving on. At home, we're moving on to, can you believe we're moving on? I'm trying to keep on my schedule, so we'll see. So we're going to do this. I want to do a little bit of review the first and the third movements of the Bruckner that we know pretty well, and just kind of hit any spots that need a little attention. And reminder, next week we're together twice, which is awesome. So next week, I think I'm right. Yeah. So next week we'll meet on Tuesday, our regular kind of schedule. We're going to do the same kind of schedule next week. The tenors and basses will be up in the forum, the sopranos and altos here to start with a sectional. The only difference is the ladies, you get cute Stephen, and basses and tenors, you're stuck with me. So we'll switch, Steve and I are going to switch places, but you'll be in the same spot. And then on Saturday, we'll be back here again on Saturday for an intensive rehearsal. And it feels like that concert's a long way away, but it's not. It comes pretty quick. But we're going to get there. But it's going to be great. Next week, we're going to have time on Tuesday and on Saturday to really kind of get it to gel. Then we'll have, I think, one more rehearsal to put it all together. And then guess what? Then we have the orchestra. But it'll happen. It's going to be great. I had a friend in our church choir that always used to say, it was B.G. Hutchinson. He always say, it's always better when the orchestra's there. You have one of those rehearsals and you go, we don't know this at all. It'll be better when the orchestra's there. Which is sometimes true. All right, so let's stand. We're gonna do the first movement that we know pretty well. This is the Bruckner, the first movement. All right. I think the key with this one is making sure that these notes that are all repeated notes don't lose their energy and intensity. And this one is a total find a way to get through the piece because it's so vocally demanding. One of the more demanding pieces we've done in a long, long time. So, but we're up to the case. We're up to it. Here we go. Here's the top. Tur. Again, you got another tur, ratur. You're going to be so good at this today in text. Can you do a little bit better job on Te Deum laudamus? That moose is short and a little bit of space. And same thing on the top of the page, the next page, terra. So just be, and you notice how every one of those has an accent or a teepee. He's not fooling around. Bum, beep, bum, bum, beep, bum. So give that lots of energy. Here's one more time. That was a great start. 12 bars and you go, all right, we got this. All right, we're skipping ahead. Let the solos do their bit. Now we're at letter C on page 8. Page 8. All right, here we go. go where we left off. Can I hear just the altos and sopranos in page 20? Altos, you're really what's happening here. There's such a gorgeous part he wrote for you. Remember that each one of these phrases gets a dynamic louder. Here's altos and sopranos at 154 and 1. That F sharp going into that final cadence that's nice and high there. Can I hear altos just again at 154? No soprano right now. Just the alto and 1. Let's just try that first note. Ready? You're just going to go 1 and 1. I would put a little H in front of that too. So just so it has a nice little. You want to have a lot of, even though it's soft, we don't want it too soft or too fragile. Here's sopranos and altos. For the sopranos, kind of starting on the mystery and just sort of appear. Here we go. And 1. Altos, soprano. Exactly. A little crescendo altos. A little stronger soprano. The tenors to this. So everybody's in now. Tenors, you're going da 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 da. Same thing the sopranos did. They kind of started the mystery and had that little crescendo. Same thing that they're doing. Let's do everybody but basses at 154 and 1. Nice job, soprano tenor. Accent tenor. And then the basses, we know you're going to be magnificent, right? So this is good. When you get to letter L, just be ready. L, it says a tempo, which is a fancy word for look up. You just got to be ready. It's a fancy word for look up. So just we have to really set that tempo. And if anything, just be careful with that. And dexteram de y set. Let's back up a little bit. We're going to put the basses back in. Actually, no, we're going to do one other thing. Let's look at page 19. The trick here is everybody is so excited to sing these beautiful harmonies. Some of you want to get there too early. So just take your time. Here's everybody at top of page 19. Here we go. And 1. That'll make this even more lovely. Basses, make sure everybody knows that you sang a low F at the end of 151. Just kind of love that little moment. You have different kind of jobs here. The sopranos, you're always going to the downbeat. But everyone else, we have a little different. Peru, E-E-E-E-C. Peru, Easty is where you're headed. So let's hear the lower 3 parts, and you're going to the E of Aristi. 1, 2, and. Good. Do a little more crescendo to that third beat. One more time, and go. Crescendo, and then disappear, and crescendo again. Make sure you get out of there. You can't love it too much. Here's everybody in. So you have different jobs. Let's make the phrasing even more beautiful. Here we go. Sopranos are in. And 1. I'm going to do one other little do the tenor part at 138. 138, this is back to the previous page at 18. So here's tenors and 1. Coolio and down. You got it. That's great. It's such a little weird part. I think that does. Did I hear applause? I like applause. Good job, tenors. Nicely done. Let's hear the sopranos and altos above you. And I remember I mentioned in the video, sopranos take some of the alto color and altos take some of the soprano color. So we start out this wonderful rich sound. 1, 2, and let it grow naturally. Let it come out. Take a breath as you need it. Keep it coming. Good. I do feel like that B natural is the highest B natural in the world, altos. You got to be careful and make sure you have enough breath to do it. We're going to do this. We're going to start at top of page 17. Let's stand at it from 17 to the end of this movement. So this is everybody at home. We're standing to. This is measure 17. 17. Notice it says sempre marcato, so it has to be pretty strong. I mentioned in the video at oh minem, just giving a little bit of time for that to kind of stretch a little bit. So here we go. Here we go. Nice and full. 2, 3, 4. Take a breath as you need it, basses, altos. Beautiful. To the downbeat, sopranos and tenors. Beautiful. Keep it coming. New tempo. Let's stay standing. We're going to skip ahead to the third movement, which is page 25, and read through that one and see how we're doing this one. It's short and sweet, but it's peppy. Oh my. All right, here we go. This is movement 3. Movement 3, page 25. 3. That's all right. All right, here we go. 3, 4. see, there's a lot going on there in such a short amount of time, but nicely done. Let's go back and hear the altos and sopranos on page 27, measure 29 with the upbeat. So it's page 27, measure 29 with the upbeat. So lots of divisi here in the altos, and there's a breath after each Gloria. 1, 2, 3. So a couple things for the soprano and altos. Make sure that we get that pianissimo little phrase there, in gloria, with a little space before and after it, and just watch the dynamics there. And altos, if you're an alto 2, you got to go from an A flat to a B flat. So just kind of be careful as you go up and join that. Let's do that a little bit again. If you notice tenors, you're kind of outlining a little bit the alto 2s of what you're doing, but theirs is much easier than yours. Here are the alto sopranos again. So alto 2s, we can use a little bit more of you if you got it. 1, 2, and. This piece takes about a minute and a second, but let's do this. For now, we'll come back and do this a little bit next time we're together, but let's do it from pick up to page 27. Let's do this a little bit together. Tenors, listen to 29, bottom page 27, just so you can hear the timing and the pitches on this tricky little bugger. And up now. Worst page turn in the history of probably printed music, right? And darn, it's high. If you have falsetto, trust your falsetto, it'll probably save you. Let's do everybody. Pick up to page 27. So this is measure 25 upbeat. Everybody's in now. Starting softly. In the D, 1, 2, and. So this is it's amazing how fast it goes. So we're almost done. Some of you may say I was done about 3 hours ago with my singing. I ran out of notes an hour and a half ago. What I want to do is skip to page 44 for cruel and unusual punishment. But really what I want to do is I just want to get a sense of how you're doing. I know we have really wonderful sectionals, but I want to just get through to see how this is holding up and to see what our next steps are going to be. As I mentioned to the sopranos and altos, top of page 44, this is a double fugue again. It's not quite as formal a fugue as Haydn did, but it's still a fugue. And there's nothing happening in the downbeat. I'm going to give 1, 2, orchestra, in, te. So you'll see 2 beats for nothing, 3rd beat's where the orchestra comes in. All right, are you ready? No, not me either. All right, let's stand and try it. This is all the way at the top of measure 31. Measure 31. All right. Whew, good luck all of us, right? Okay. This is the one where I said to myself, can we do this? Yes, we can do this. Can we do this? Yes, we can do it. But maybe not the first time. All right, here we go. Here's from the top. Sopranos, listen to this one time so you get your start. 1, 2. There we go. So here now for real. 1, 2. Tenors. Nice basses. More alto. Take your time. 2, 3, 4. Here's a space in the next phrase. You got it. It's 9:30. So you guys got a lot accomplished tonight. If you didn't already, this fifth movement with all my markings is up on the website. So if you want to kind of get those markings in, that'll be great. I'll put a pretty good lesson plan. We got a lot of work to do, but we're on a great start. And wow, is this music awesome? You're doing a great job. Thank you at home. Hope you're back with us next week. Everyone else, stay well, stay safe. We'll see you next time. I'm still having mask issues. There we go.